Hello and welcome. You know that feeling, right? When you find yourself saying yes, but your entire body is screaming no? Or that constant nagging need to make sure everyone around you is okay, that they're happy? Well, today we're going to dig into that. We're going to explore the deep roots of this people-pleasing habit and what it's really telling us about what drives us. So, let's just start with the big question, the one that's at the heart of this whole thing. Is that drive to make others happy a real, genuine expression of love? Or is it something else? Is it a strategy to manage a deep-seated fear? This single question, believe it or not, is the key to unlocking a totally new way of understanding yourself.
Here's the roadmap for our journey today. First, we'll look at the difference between love and fear. Then we'll explore something called the trap of self-focus. After that, we'll uncover a surprising hidden goal, the drive for superiority. Then we'll discover where real freedom lies, and finally, we'll talk about how to move from just pleasing people to truly connecting with them.
All right, first things first. Let's just hold up a mirror for a second. What does this people-pleasing pattern actually look and feel like in our everyday lives?
Do any of these hit a little close to home? That difficulty saying no, always saying you're sorry, feeling like other people's emotions are your job to fix? It's so easy to look at this list and think, well, that's just who I am. But what if it's not? What if these aren't just personality quirks, but are actually sophisticated, learned strategies that have a hidden purpose we don't even see?
So that brings us to the next question. Where does this impulse even come from? To start to get an answer, we're going to turn to the philosopher Bertrand Russell, who actually found the first major clue by looking at his own deep unhappiness.
You see, for years, Russell was completely miserable, just trapped in his own head, constantly thinking about his own flaws, his mistakes, his worries. And then he had this huge breakthrough. His unhappiness wasn't really being caused by the outside world. It was caused by his intense, relentless focus on himself. The only way out was to look out.
Russell noticed the self-absorption shows up in a few common ways. You have what he called the sinner, who's just obsessed with their own guilt. Then there's the narcissist, who desperately craves admiration from everyone. And the victim, who's convinced the world is out to get them. But you see the common thread, right? In every case, the entire universe shrinks down to one subject, me. And in a world that small, genuine happiness just can't breathe.
Now, this idea of being trapped in your own head leads us right to the work of the psychologist Alfred Adler. And this is where it gets really fascinating, because he uncovered a shocking, unconscious goal that's often hiding right underneath that self-focus. Adler's big idea was this. Deep down, every single one of us struggles with feelings of inferiority. It's just part of being human. And so, to cope with that, we develop this powerful, lifelong drive to overcome that feeling, to strive for a sense of meaning, of competence, and yeah, even a feeling of superiority. This striving is the engine behind almost everything we do. But here's the crucial part. When that striving gets twisted, we end up creating a misguided strategy. It starts with that core feeling of being not good enough. So we create a secret fictional goal, something like, to be safe, I must be in control, or I have to be liked by everyone. And then we adopt behaviors, like people-pleasing, to try and achieve that goal. So you see, it's not really about love. It's a desperate tactic to feel like we're in charge of our own fragile sense of self-worth. And to make this really, really clear, Adler told the story of a patient he called the princess. Her story is the perfect, if painful, example of a life completely run by one of these hidden goals. So on the surface, her life just looked like a total mess. She failed at everything she tried. At work, she was stuck in this impossible trap. If a male boss paid attention to her, she felt threatened and would quit. But if he didn't, she felt insulted and would also quit. She had no friends, no way to support herself. She was completely dependent. So the question is, why? What was really going on? Adler figured it out. Her behavior wasn't designed to help her succeed in the real world. It was designed to make her fail in a very specific way. By being totally incapable of functioning on her own, she forced her family to take care of her, just like when she was a little girl. Her failures were actually massive successes at achieving her real, hidden goal, to prove that she was still a special princess who had to be served. That was how she maintained her sense of superiority.
Okay, so if the problem is this trapped, inward-looking, misguided goal, then what in the world is the solution? What's amazing is that both Russell, the philosopher, and Adler, the psychologist, landed on the exact same answer.
The answer is a pretty radical shift in where you put your attention. It's about moving from that inward focus, which leaves us anxious, stuck, and obsessed with our own worth, to an outward focus. A life where we're actually engaged with the world around us, where we're genuinely interested in other people, and where we find our value through contributing and connecting, not controlling.
And let's be clear, this isn't about forgetting yourself. It's about liberating yourself. It means finding things you actually enjoy, not things you think will make you look good. It means shifting your whole mindset from what can I get to what can I give. It means finding the courage to face small, uncomfortable truths and learning to give to others freely, not as a transaction to get something back, but just as an expression of who you are.
I love this quote from Russell because it completely reframes what happiness is. He's saying happiness isn't some prize you win at the end of a race. It's a byproduct. It's what happens naturally when you're busy being truly interested in life and ideas and in other people.
So, let's bring all of this home. How do we actually make that shift from a life of anxious people-pleasing to one of real, authentic connection?
The single most powerful step you can take is to change how you see this behavior. Your people-pleasing isn't some deep, permanent flaw in your character. It's a strategy, a brilliant but outdated strategy your mind came up with a long time ago to help you feel safe. And when you see it just as a strategy, you can thank it for getting you this far, and then gently choose to develop a new one.
And really, it all comes down to this. When you stop pouring all your energy into trying to manage how everyone else feels just so you can feel secure, you free up all that energy, and you can use it to build something so much better. Real, honest relationships that can only happen when you finally show up as your true self.
And that leaves us with one last empowering thought to take with you. The goal isn't just to stop being a people pleaser. The real goal is to start the incredible journey of discovering who you actually are when you're no longer afraid. With all that time and energy freed up from managing the world, what could you build? What could you learn? Who do you really want to become? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer.